Welcome back to Uncharted. We are at episode 6. I'm so excited you're still here with me. Now let's get started. This one is called Cut the Trade. So what if I told you that the same rules you use to protect your portfolio should be protecting your peace? So this episode isn't just about trading. It's about knowing when to walk away from anything and anyone that hits your metaphorical stop loss. Your values are your strategy. Your boundaries are your risk management. And when something no longer aligns, it's time to cut the trade, literally. So I always love referencing Kenny Rogers, the gambler. It often suits life and trading situations, and it helps people understand. So it's the song, you know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. So that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about cutting the trade.
I'm looking for a woman in finance. Crypto 5 for amber eyes. I'm looking for a woman in finance. Crypto 5 for amber eyes. I'm looking for a woman in finance. Crypto 5 for amber eyes. I'm looking for a woman in finance. Crypto 5 for amber eyes. I'm looking for a woman in finance. Crypto 5 for amber eyes. I'm looking for a woman in finance. Crypto 5 for amber eyes. I'm looking for a woman in finance. Crypto 5 for amber eyes. I'm looking for a woman in finance. Crypto 5 for amber eyes. UNCHARTED. Let's go.
Is it just me? I really love that music. I'm looking for a woman in finance. That's me. Anyway, welcome to Uncharted, the podcast that rips a map right out of your hands and rewrites the rules on money, trading, psychology, and power. I'm Lisa Ann Edwards, a crypto trader, investor, and entrepreneur, and ex-Aussie talent agent turned film producer and writer. So I've got 25 years in traditional markets and 10 plus years in crypto, 5 multi-million-dollar businesses built from the ground up, and I've survived bull runs, bear markets, scams, and system crashes, both in finance and in life. So this show goes beyond the charts. We unpack the psychology behind wealth, expose the games the system plays, and give you the tools to trade, invest, and live on your terms. So if you're ready to ditch the lies, drop the limits, and go off script, you're exactly where you need to be. This is Uncharted. Let's get started.
I'm looking for a woman in finance. Crypto 5 for amber eyes. UNCHARTED. Let's go.
There's a moment in trading where your stop loss hits, and that's it. The trade is closed automatically. No emotions. You protected yourself. You followed the rules. And yet, in life, we ignore the stop loss. We justify the losses. We let it bleed. We wait for the bounce. That bounce back that never happens. And today's episode is about one thing: cutting the trade. And I don't just mean on the chart. I mean in life. How many times have you held on to someone or something, a relationship, a habit, a job, a friendship, way past your metaphorical stop loss? You knew it didn't align with your values. It doesn't meet your expectations, is violating your boundaries, but you stayed. Why? Because deep down you were hoping it would turn around. You were trading on hope. And let's be clear. I believe hope is a powerful asset. It can carry you through storms. It can keep you going when others give up. It can be the only light that you have left in a very, very dark place. But what happens when hope isn't enough? When it becomes the thing that's keeping you stuck? When it binds you to the losses you're taking emotionally, mentally, and spiritually? That's when hope, unchecked, turns from an asset into a liability. And you need to ask yourself, am I holding on to hope because I believe in this, or am I afraid to let go? You see, every single one of us has a set of personal trading rules, whether they're conscious or whether they're not. Your values. Have a think of what your values are. Do you prioritize people that show up in your life? Do you like trust and honesty? They're your values. So that's your strategy for life. So your boundaries, that's your risk management, your self-worth, that's your portfolio. So when we analyze trading to life, it slips in seamlessly. But if you're not cutting the trade, if you're ignoring the signs, letting your emotional equity get drained, you're not taking a loss. You're blowing up your entire account. So now let's talk fundamentals, because the most consistent traders in the world, they never enter a trade without a stop loss. It's not a suggestion, it's a rule. It's the foundation of capital protection. And in life, it's no different. You must define your non-negotiables. You must commit to your rules. And above all, you must stop self-abandoning just to keep someone or something that's costing you in your life. What is it costing you? Is it costing you peace? Is it causing you stress? Why is it there? So every time you ignore your gut to please someone else, every time you override your limits to avoid conflict, every time you betray your values to belong, you're breaking your own trading plan. You're throwing away your stop loss. And now that's how we lose ourselves. That's how we get lost in life. But you weren't meant to bleed for validation, and you were meant to lead with alignment. And that brings us to something even deeper, something traders and high performers rarely talk about: the cost of self-abandonment. Because here's the truth. Every time you ignore your trading plan, every time you widen your stop loss, just this once, that's what you tell yourself, just this once things will change. Every time you convince yourself this trade will come back, you're abandoning the most important trader in the room, you. And that becomes a habit. It doesn't stay on the charts, it leaks into your life. It looks like breaking your sleep schedule, chasing one more move, FOMO overriding logic, chasing setups that don't align with your system, and trading to fill emotional gaps, not financial goals. So in trading, it's called emotional execution. And in life, it's called self-betrayal. And the cost is always higher than you think. You stop trusting the system, you stop trusting yourself, and suddenly you're not trading the market, you're trading your self-worth. And it doesn't stop with the charts. Self-abandonment shows up when you say yes just to be liked, when you downplay the truth to avoid conflict, and when you stay silent so someone else feels comfortable. You trade pieces of yourself for a piece that isn't even real. It looks like burnout, it looks like resentment, and it looks like you're not recognizing the person you've become. So you think you're keeping the peace, you think you're doing the right thing, and you're bleeding internally while smiling at the world, smiling externally. So it's literally eating you alive. No relationship, no business, no opportunity is worth the slow death of your spirit. So if you've been abandoning your values, your voice, or your truth, whether in trading or in life, today's your pivot point. If you've come across this podcast today, cut the trade, reclaim the strategy, build the trust, especially with yourself. How can you trust others if you can't trust yourself? So here's the thing. Cutting the trade doesn't make you weak. It makes you disciplined. It makes you wise. It says, I know what I'm worth, and this just isn't it. So whether it's a romantic partner who gaslights you, a job that devalues your soul, a friendship that drains you more than it fills you, or a belief system that once served you but no longer fits who you're becoming. So you need to ask yourself, would I enter this trade today? And if the answer is no, cut the trade. It's simple. Cut the trade. This isn't about being cold, it's about being clear. You don't have to hate something to walk away. You have to love yourself enough to stop bleeding for it. So here's your uncharted challenge this week. Identify one thing in your life that's been holding you back. It's past its stop loss. Ask yourself, What value is this violating? And then make the decision with clarity, not chaos, to cut the trade. And I'll tell you something else. The moment you do, you create space for aligned trades, for new, expansive positions in your life portfolio, the kind that don't make you question your worth and your sanity, the kind that grow with you. So remember, you don't need to explain the exit to those who never respected your entry, and you don't need to keep justifying the loss. You just need to protect the most valuable asset in your life. That's you. You come into this life alone and you leave it alone. You are the most valuable person in your life. You need to love yourself the most. So cut the trade and keep moving forward. So I'm going to challenge you this week. Make sure you identify that one area in your life or trading where you've been holding past the stop loss. Those positions that should have closed. The relationship you're emotionally averaged into. A habit that's no longer serving your goals. Ask yourself, what rule, value, boundary am I abandoning here? Am I ignoring my setup, violating my trading plan, or compromising my personal code? Then decide, not emotionally, but with intentional strategy, whether it's time to cut the trade. Because when you cut the trade, you don't just walk away from loss, you walk away with clarity towards strength, towards an aligned, high conviction position in trading and in life. So remember, don't explain the exit to those who never respected the entry. You don't need to keep justifying the red candles. You just need to protect the most valuable asset in your portfolio. And I'll say it again, that's you. You are the most valuable asset in your life. Without you, there's nothing. So cut the trade, tighten the strategy, keep moving forward. This was Uncharted. It was a really quick one today. Thanks for listening. All my links are below if you'd like to come and find me.
I'm looking for a woman in finance. Crypto 5 for amber eyes. Uncharted. Let's go.